What's going on, guys? Xyko here, bringing you another video. In the last video, you saw exactly what I did with my controller business. People customize their controllers, I build them up, I send it to them. I do all that stuff. You guys saw it in the last video. If you guys haven't seen the last video, check that out and you guys could be all up to date what I really do. So today's video, we're actually gonna be diving into an order. Now, the order that we're gonna be diving into here is the Scuff controller that I actually had in my last video. This thing came to me, the thumbsticks were totally destroyed. The back paddles had absolutely no click. So we got those back. Today, we're actually gonna be going in and we're gonna be installing pro triggers into this thing. He wanted pro triggers installed. So we're gonna be going to this controller here and we're gonna install those pro triggers for him and see how it turns out. I'll see you guys over in the building phase. All right, guys, so again, we have the Scuff controller, the Scuff Impact, as you can see on the bottom here. I don't know if you guys really see that. The Scuff Impact, double paddles. Again, when this came to me, you could hear the paddles here. When this came to me, the paddles did not work at all. I'll show you exactly what I did to it. I will say these things are really hard to get into because they usually have a security screw here, which I absolutely struggled to get out, but we did get it out. We replaced it with all 4 new screws. Yeah, so we'll go in and I'll show you exactly what we're gonna be doing to this thing. First off, I am gonna do this actually so I don't ruin the thumbsticks. I'm gonna actually take these out. Thumbsticks here. One. Again, that is one thing that Scuff really did well on this controller is these little rings where you could actually just replace thumbsticks, which is awesome. All right, with those taken out, we have a lot more freedom to move around. All right, we got all the screws out of there. Open her up. That is what the inside of a Scuff controller looks like. I'll honestly just tell you exactly what I'm doing here. So I left this out before. Little ribbon here because I don't like screwing around with these ribbons a lot because they are very, very fragile. So when I first opened it up, I left that. I didn't want to touch it anymore. I didn't want to plug it in anymore. So we're gonna go in here. Got this ribbon. This ribbon's actually for the D-pad. Gonna unscrew the motherboard from the actual shell. Unhook the rumbles. Fully take out motherboard. 2 little clips here. Off the board out. This ribbon right here is actually what controls the entire motherboard of the actual paddles. All right, next up, we're gonna take this out. Just the full shell with all the buttons and everything. That to the side, and this is actually where we're gonna get out the triggers, bumpers, and this entire thing we're actually gonna replace. So these out. Now again, we're doing this because we are throwing pro triggers in this controller now, which are digital triggers, mouse click triggers, whatever you want to call them. Again, I call them pro triggers over on my site. So that's what I go by. These little plastic things I'm going to dump out here actually go in the triggers, and that is what activates the click. Again, these pro triggers that I have here, probably see these little buttons right here. 2 buttons. Camera doesn't really want to focus, but those 2 little buttons right here, there's a white button, black button, as you could hear. Very clicky. But these are actually the silent version, so which you will see once I got them all installed. So we're going to do the left side here first, the little bracket. What I like to do is grab a little screwdriver and just gently push it in. They're in their little slots. Ribbon in. Far side. Again, grab a screwdriver. Just make sure they snap right into place. Get the little flaps underneath the bracket. Right here for the little circuit area. That's all flat. Then we just pull these into place. Clicky kit. Right there. Pro triggers now installed. Now we need to go into the actual triggers. These little plastic things here. Go right into the trigger. And that again is what pushes on the actual little trigger. There. One in there. Now install this R2. Beautiful. Again, you can't really hear this one because like I said before, they are silent, but they have no travel at all, which I will show you guys later on. I'll show you right now. Look at this. barely have to touch it. It activates. As far as it'll go. You don't have to go all the way down here for it to activate, which is awesome. Great for FPS games. If you guys are looking into playing competitive or any FPS or want a competitive advantage, make sure you guys are getting pro triggers on my website. If they feel amazing and they just give you an insane competitive edge for shooting anything semi-auto, like a pistol, like literally anything semi-auto, you get a disgusting advantage with these things. All right, next up, we need to throw this stuff into our bumpers here. Now, again, little wee plastic thing, slide it into the bumper. Bam. One. That in. This one you will hear. I'm gonna put them both in and then I'll show you guys what they sound like. Again, it's a bumper, so they don't have a lot of movement anyway, but this just honestly sounds better. Pro triggers are now installed. This back on the shell. So it was mostly just pro triggers, but I will show you exactly what is in the controller. Again, this is the entire motherboard right here. Entire motherboard, you got both the joysticks. You got the model number, the JDM055. You probably can't see that, but you know that's where the model number is. This right here, this little strip, that is where you get all of your power. That's gonna power all of your pro triggers, your back paddles, all that stuff, your back buttons. This little strip here is gonna power everything. That's that. Again, rumbles, big motors. A lot of people take these out. If you are playing competitive, it gives you a nice little weight advantage as well. But a lot of people also like them in. We're gonna put this little circuit wire thing right here. Gonna match that up with the pro triggers, make sure it sits flat so you get power through everything. Now right here, this big green motherboard, this powers all the paddles. Now what was wrong with this is when I first got it, I looked into it, the paddle says 0 click, and that is because two of these screws, this screw right here, this screw right here, they didn't have any screws in them. So when you push, it would literally just give every single time because there's nothing pushing against it. So I screwed 2 screws into here. Now the paddles are working perfect. And then this, you know what, we're gonna take this wire, we're gonna actually plug this back in. All right, they're in, down. Bam, that's good. Beautiful. All right, next up, install the motherboard back. Secure that. Now we'll lock everything up with a screw. All right, that's good. Now, if we're looking at the controller here, what powers the paddles? We got one solder right here. This wire goes right into the motherboard of the paddles. Now if we take a look here, this green wire goes right into the paddle, so that's going to power one paddle. This one's going to power the other paddle, so one's X, one's circle, because that's what the paddles are actually remapped to. That's what those 2 wires are for. Next up, we're going to plug the touchpad back in like that. Next up, we're actually going to throw in the battery pack. All right, so battery pack's in. This is the light plus your charger. Power to all of that. Everything on the front of your controller. Just like that. Make sure all the wires are good. Put it back in. Just like that. Then we got a little wire hanging up here, so there you have it. Alright, now we'll get it all screwed in. Open right. Beautiful. Up. Screw everything back in. All right, there we go. Now, triggers. A test. Good. I forgot to do one thing. We're gonna go back in quick. Notice just because I felt it. What I want to actually do, things are actually popping out the triggers. But you taking that out, they're not popping out anymore. We're gonna leave the spring there. It's not actually hooked up to the controller. That feels 10 times better already. Beautiful, just like that. All right, so now going back into the controller here, I've also noticed one of these solders came. So we're gonna actually resolder this exactly where it was. Good thing I came back into the controller here. I would have noticed it as soon as I tested anyway, but good once you go into the controller once, you can actually just figure everything out as soon as you go in, get it all fixed up and good to go. Yeah, it's good to know that this solder wire was also loose, so we'll resolder that. Make sure my solder's all ready here. Like that. Just like that. Good, we can turn that off. So that's soldered back into place. Alright, so we loosened up the spring, makes these 10 times better. We resoldered our paddle buttons. And now, again, the battery in. And again, we should be good. Those are up. Alright, so we got... Oh, those feel so much better already. Beautiful. Get that. Clamp that. Oh yeah, way better. You just screw everything in now. You got everything sealed up. Give it a test. Bam, everything's screwed in. Feels good. Oh yeah, those feel way better. Great click on the back. Throw on the thumbsticks now. And secure the old thumbsticks. Bam. Awesome. Thumbsticks feel good. Yeah, feels great now. Now I'm going to show you exactly how I test it out. All right, first thing we do right off bat after completing build is we go over to gamepad tester, and then this is a way we can check everything. So as you guys can see here, I'm clicking the paddles and then just registering to circle and X. So we know the paddles are working great. Again, great click. Next up we go pro triggers, which are L1 and R1. As you guys can see, L1 and R1 are working perfect. Next up we go L2, R2, L2, R2. Pro triggers are working perfect. Then next up, X, square, triangle, circle. Spam them, make sure everything's good. Touchpad, working good. See by the B17, it doesn't show on the controller because it's like an Xbox controller setup, but you can see on the bottom left there, D17 working great. Thumbsticks, great. Click, B11, B10 working great. As you can see, no stick drift. We don't have anything outside the circular, so the circularity is also very good. We have options and menu. Those ones are also working great. And then D-pad. Down, right, up, left, down, right, up, left. Paddles again. Everything's working great. We do that. I also then go into like a Call of Duty game or any FPS game. I give it a good 30 to 45 minute test. Make sure everything's running great. Again, I want everything perfect for my clients. I'm like a perfectionist when it comes to this stuff, so we make sure everything works great. I give it a good test, and yeah, if everything's good, again, we clean it up. And most of the times we clean it up, I'll do like a little cool photo shoot for it. Sometimes I do a video shoot for it, and I'll throw it up on Instagram, Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it now. This controller is now finished, and I'll do a little photo shoot for it, and we'll get on to the next order. There you guys have it. That is the entire process of me putting in pro triggers. And again, I had to go in, I had to resolder a wire. We did a few things to this controller: thumbsticks, back paddles, pro triggers, everything. This thing is now complete. I'm going to give it a nice little clean. I'm going to take some pictures of it, send it out, and I hope you guys enjoyed the process of fixing up this controller. If you guys do enjoy this type of content, let me know in the comments below, like, subscribe, all that stuff. And I am planning for future giveaways of controllers over on my YouTube as well. Once we get this channel cooking up a little bit, I'm definitely going to be doing some giveaways, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And yeah, stick around, and I'll catch you guys over in the next video. Peace out.